I'm going to briefly go over this article regarding Snoop Dogg and Don Magic Juan being accused of sexual assault and battery, an incident that allegedly occurred back in 2013. In my own personal opinion, from reading this article, this is a crock of bull crap. But one thing I will say is that Snoop Dogg and Bishop Don Magic Juan set themselves up to be an easy target, easy prey, because Don Magic Juan is supposed to be a pimp. Snoop Dogg is following after his footsteps. And Snoop Dogg is always talking about his weather girls and the strip clubs and the women booty shaking and all this nonsense. Brothers, when are you going to learn? You're an easy target, especially when you're in a position where you have money, you have wealth, that you're quite wealthy. And it's been announced that Snoop Dogg is now the proud owner of Death Row Records. And it was announced that he was going to be performing at the Super Bowl. So this is, in my own humble opinion, Bill Cosby 2.0. Remember, Bill Cosby was about to buy NBC Studios? And then all of a sudden, all of these sexual assault cases came out of the woodworks? Well, don't be surprised if more females start coming forward wanting to get in on the game. Because you have a lot of these females out there are quite thirsty. You see them all on social media, putting their bodies out there. They are fishing for celebrities. It's like when I'm at the casino and say I win a jackpot. Guess who I start seeing swarming around me? I'll purposely go to an area where there's no people at the slot machines. Then I'll sit down. Next thing you know, female come up, sit right down beside me, pretending like she's playing on another machine. I'll get up and I'll leave and I'll go back into the non-smoking area. About 5 or 10 minutes later, here she comes. I'll get up and go back into the smoking area. There she comes. She's got to make her presence walk by me. So, brothers, you're an easy target when they think you got money, when you have success and fame, especially celebrities. Remember what happened to Drake and that condom? And a good thing Drake took that condom and filled it with hot sauce, or he would be named somebody's baby daddy, or alleged that he raped them. So I'm going to read this article. I think it's a crock of bull, just by the information that's in this article. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Snoop Dogg and his associate Bishop Don Magic Juan are being sued for sexual assault and battery for an incident that an unnamed accuser says occurred in 2013 in California. Now, if you're bold enough to come out and say that this man did something to you, why aren't you bold enough to give your name? It's always got to be an unnamed accuser. The allegations came just days before the Super Bowl halftime show, Sunday, where the rapper is expected to perform with Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Dr. Dre. Lawyers for a Jane Doe who worked as a dancer and performed during concerts for Snoop Dogg, real name Calvin Cordozer Rodas Jr., he's a junior, and Bishop Don Magic Juan, real name Donald Campbell, say she was coerced into performing a sexual act by Snoop Dogg and was sexually assaulted by the two, according to court documents filed Wednesday. And then it says USA Today reached out to Snoop Dogg's rep and lawyers for comment. Now, this is where it kind of gets sketchy to me. The court documents claim she and her friend met the men at a nightclub in Anaheim. After her friend left, the accuser asked Campbell to take her home. Instead, he took her back to his home where she fell asleep. Now, why would you fall asleep in a perfect stranger's house? Did you feel that comfortable where you was on your way home and he decided to take you to his house and then you just fell asleep? You felt so relaxed that you decided to fall asleep at this man's house, knowing, and this will come up later in the article, but knowing the reputation that Snoop Dogg and Don Magic Juan have. Don Magic Juan as a pimp and Snoop Dogg following in his footsteps. Now, I'm not saying that these brothers did it. I don't believe they did it. Just because of a lot of things that's written in this article. I really don't believe that these dudes did that. Only God above, and they know what happened, what really happened. Now, if we think back to Tupac, there's always a female that's falling asleep and then she's wake up screaming rape. She's always waking up and she's taken advantage of, or she's about to be taken advantage of, which I find to be quite odd. It says Jane Doe woke up the next morning to Campbell forcing her to have oral sex with him before eventually leaving her alone, the filings claim. Then she told Campbell she wasn't feeling well, but he insisted they go to Snoop Dogg's studio where he was filming, Snoop Dogg's Double G News Network. Now, if you felt that you woke up and he was forcing you to have oral sex with him, and then you trust him enough to take you to Snoop Dogg's house, I don't want to hear nothing about you fear for your life or your safety, because you knew what type of person Snoop Dogg was, how he grew up, Death Row Records, gangbanging. But you felt comfortable enough to go to this man's house and then you fell asleep. And keep in mind, in this alleged assault and rape case, never was it mentioned about penetration. Because if there was penetration, then there would be evidence. But instead, it all centered around oral sex, where you can't really even prove that unless she had some of his semen on her shirt or on her dress. What type of evidence do she have that this really took place? Now, she's got evidence. Who's to say that wasn't consensual? Especially if she allegedly woke up and she was being forced to have oral sex, and then she goes by Snoop's studio where he's filming, and then later on, as you will see, wanting to take a picture. She was not trying to leave this place. She was looking for a come up. Now it says lawyers for the woman say Campbell told her, put the dress on and let's go to Snoop's videotaping. I want to see if he will make you the weather girl. When Jane Doe arrived at the studio, she says she still wasn't feeling well. She went into the bathroom. She went to the bathroom where she says Snoop Dogg barged in while she was still on the toilet, and like Campbell tried to force her to perform oral sex. Now, she's making these brothers out to sound like total and complete animals and beasts. First, she was waking out of her sleep with Don Magic Juan wanting her to go down on him. And now Snoop Dogg, while she's in the bathroom, don't you lock the door? Don't you get in the habit of locking the door when you go into the bathroom, especially if you said you woke up out of your sleep and you was being forced to perform oral sex on somebody. So why would you go in the bathroom and not lock that door when anybody could walk in there? Just say they didn't know you was in the bathroom and decided to open the door and come on in. Why did you leave that door unlocked? Right? So now she said where she says Snoop Dogg barged in while she was still on the toilet and, like Campbell, tried to force her to perform oral sex. The court documents say she recalls Snoop Dogg's criminal history. Oh, now she's remembering. She recalled Snoop Dogg's criminal history all of a sudden. She didn't consider that or think about it before all this took place. So now she's considering it. Now she remembered. And previous rape accusations. Now, accusations are different than being actually convicted of rape. See? So she obliged out of fear. Now she's afraid. After she left the bathroom, Campbell approached her and asked her to take a picture with the rapper, to which she consented out of fear for her safety. Now, I really don't think if this brother forced her to have oral sex, would be so calm and inviting to ask her to take a picture with the rapper. I really don't think so, unless it was consensual. In his mind, he probably felt it was consensual. And I'm sure that he didn't sense no type of fear with her. So, again, I wasn't there. I don't know. After the incident, the lawsuit says Snoop Dogg and Campbell never hired her as a dancer again. Jane Doe and the defendants tried to settle the matter through mediation on Tuesday, but it was ultimately unsuccessful. The lawsuit included a screenshot of Snoop Dogg's Instagram post shared early in the morning after the mediation. The post says, "Gold digger season is here. Be careful, nephews. Keep your guards up and keep your circles small." Now, you mean to tell me, brother, as long as you've been in the industry, you're just now realizing this? Now that you're accused, you're just now realizing that? Now that it came out that you about to own Death Row Records, it's not a coincidence that these allegations decide to resurface. See? That's too much power for you to have. See? So, this is not a coincidence. The lawsuit also says that because of the incident, Jane Doe continues to suffer great pain of mind and body, shock, emotional distress, physical manifestations of emotional distress, including embarrassment, loss of self-esteem, disgrace, humiliation, and loss of enjoyment of life. Keep in mind, this allegedly happened back in 2013. So all of this time, even through COVID, she not one time mentioned it. I'm sure she probably got COVID too. I wonder if she was tested positive for COVID. Because being inside for the past 2 or how many years because of this so-called pandemic, there's a lot of people that's going through what was just described. A lot of people are going through that right now just from the pandemic. See? There's a lot of people that suffer great pain of mind and body, shock, because of all the death that's taking place. And these people are dying from COVID. Emotional distress, physical manifestation of emotional distress, including embarrassment. Think about the people that are trapped inside their homes. They're not even able to enjoy life. Loss of self-esteem, disgrace, humiliation, and loss of enjoyment of life. That sounds like just about everybody that was going through this pandemic. And there's people that actually committed suicide, decided to take their own lives out. And there's people that's reporting on the police scanner that A lot of people now are hearing voices. They claim the devil is talking to them. These are the times we're living in. So who's to say that what she's going through right now is a result of what allegedly happened back in 2013? It says Snoop Dogg has a history of accusation. And see, this is what they use against a lot of these brothers. Now, you have celebrities that will settle out of court to keep from having to spend more money on attorneys as the case drags on. So you have people that say, you know what, just give her a little bit of money and let her go about her business. It saves them a lot of money in the long term, right? But this sounds like a gold digging female that see an opportunity. It says the lawsuit also acknowledges the rapper's history of sexual abuse, harassment, threatening of females, and retaliation, which Jane Doe's lawyer say point to a pattern of behavior. See, right there in that one paragraph tells you the real motive behind them coming after Snoop, because he's got a history of that. This is a history of sexual abuse and harassment and threatening females and retaliation. So every little bitty thing, if Snoop Dogg were to respond, even on social media, they're going to use that as an excuse to say he's trying to intimidate her. Right? It says lawyers claim they anticipate Snoop Dogg will retaliate against Jane Doe and sue her for extortion, just as he did to Kylie Bell in an effort to intimidate her. See what I tell you? In 2005, makeup artist Kelly Bell accused the rapper of rape, but later dropped the charges. Court documents also list the rapper's defense of Bill Cosby. Interesting they brought that up. Whose sexual assault conviction was overturned last year. The reference a 2003 Rolling Stone interview in which he refers to himself as a pimp. See what I tell you? See, they're using all that. So you brothers out there that's claiming you're a pimp and you got all these females and these videos you making, grabbing these women butt and patting these female butt as they shake it and twerk in front of you, man, y'all got to change your game, man, because they're using the game against you. See, Snoop is not the first person. He's not going to be the last, because there's going to be dudes out there that just don't listen. They just don't listen. See, the best thing to do, like he now suggests, keep your circle small. I don't give them the time of day. Like I mentioned, when I'm at the casino and I be hitting these jackpots, and all of a sudden these females, it can be in the middle of winter time, and these females are walking around the casino half naked, showing off their body because they think that some horny dude, some horny toad is gonna call them out and share their wealth with them, take them up to a room, and next thing you know, they screaming rape. They screaming sexual assault. See, so dudes gotta really be careful, man. You making yourself an easy target, man, an easy prey. You know, and I'm singing to the choir because you got guys that's gonna listen, but it's gonna go in one ear and out the other. Snoop Dogg said he did a Playboy tour where he had a bus full of 10 women following him. City to city, hotel room to hotel room, athlete to athlete, entertainer to entertainer. I get a couple of players to come hang out, pick and choose, and whichever one you like comes with a number. A lot of athletes bought sex from him. I dreamed of being a pimp. See, they're using all that against him. Snoop Dogg's feud with Iggy Azalea. Now, I'm not going to continue on with that, but you see where that's going. You see where that's going. Brothers, you make yourself an easy target, man. You make yourself an easy target. Now, Snoop, when it comes to women, that's what he's about. He's about that. Don Magic Juan, he's about the women. They claim to be pimps. See, when you walk around with that type of title and you have the wealth that you have and you're about to become the owner of Death Row Records, man, expect the vultures to come out. You know? And these females, they're not on social media, man, for nothing. They're there to trap. These females are cheese in a trap. And you have all these mouse dudes out there squeaking around that trap. And then before you realize it, you take that bait and now you caught up in a lawsuit. And now you got to pay out to this female that played you. See, dudes, you got to stop being played, man. Leave these chicks alone. If you got a main girl at home, man, stay loyal and faithful to that woman, man. If she's no good, then you need to kick her to the curb. But sometimes solitude is the best way to go, man. Solitude. And have one friend, man, one loyal friend that you can trust. But we're living in times now where it's hard to trust anybody, man. Especially thirsty females out there. Even if you have to go outside your race. And I said this many times before, because you got a lot of black dudes that are set up by black females. Black females are bought, man. They're bought and paid for. So you never know when you got this female that you claim that's your ride or die, and she's walking around with a recorder on her. You know? She's wired up, listening to your conversation. So I'm going to end it right here. I didn't mean for it to go this long, but there's a lot of dudes that's caught in this trap, man. You cheese in a trap. See, they put that cheese out there, man, and you go for it every single time. All she got to do is open her legs or twerk in front of a camera, and here you go sniffing. And before you realize it, snap, that trap come down right on your lips. Your lips and your nose, and you're trapped. Now she's leading you around, man. You know, lawsuits. But keep in mind, this female not one time ever mentioned anything about penetration. She always kept it oral. Because it's hard to prove. Unless, of course, Snoop Dogg or Don Magic Juan decide to come out and say, man, it was consensual. When you say that, right there, something happened. But if you stick to your guns and say, yo, man, ain't nothing happened, I would never do that. And we know that Snoop Dogg don't have respect for women. Don Magic Juan don't have respect for women. That makes them an easy target. See? I'm a photographer and I know this. I remember, and I shared this story before, when I first opened my store. This female walked in the store. She's a bad little something too. And she wanted a pair of sunglasses. And she was offering herself for a pair of sunglasses. And then I gave her my sermon, started preaching to her. Started talking about the Lord, you know. How could you sell yourself so low? And when I finished with that young lady, she had no other choice but to walk out with her head down. See, brother, stop taking the bait, man. I lectured these chicks, man. When they came at me wrong, I lecture them. You know, you're better than that. You know, how you gonna come at me with something like that, man? You know, why would you put yourself out there like that? You know, I lecture her. And you have a lot of black females, because of their mentality, the way they think, a lot of black females do not like to be lectured. They don't want to hear the truth, man. They want to live the way they want to live and keep setting those traps out there for thirsty dudes. See? And like I said, Drake came close to falling into that trap. The only thing that saved him was he put hot sauce in that condom. And even after he put hot sauce in that condom, she still tried to sue him because of her own actions. So feedback, tell me what you think, subscribe, click on the Cash App, support this channel. Until next time, I'm fearless.